Hello everyone, welcome back for another tutorial. Okay, this one, kind of been seeing quite a few people struggling with docking. I've been doing it by eyesight, plus also been seeing a few people, a few posts that people are struggling with heavy lift, basically ascent profiles on how to do it. So, thought I'd do you a tutorial with both of them in one go. Now, some people will be aware that I've been doing KSP Hotels and Holidays series, in which I show hotel resorts in various places. Basically like an advertisement, if you will. So, decided I'm going to use one of my crafts from here. This is a fuel tank for a fuel depot. As you can see, using the big 3 meter plus parts. Centre tank is empty in there, and there's no engines on the bottom, as you can see. Why is it empty? You'll find out when we get up there. So, in this, they are set to asparagus staging, so they'll come off in pairs. So let's go and launch and have some fun. Oh, we're going to cut the video there. We are, of course, in post-commentary mode. Plenty of lights on the thing. We need lights. Now, we're going to set Fuel Depot 2 as target, and then we're just going to time warp till it's in about the right position. I always like, personally, when I'm launching for a space station or target, I always like to come up behind it. It's easier to catch up than it is to slow down, personally. But that's just mine. So, we're just going to start off full throttle till we get up to about 150 meters per second, which is around about 4,000 feet. And then we're going to throttle back down to just over 2/3, which we've just done. This is, of course, 4 times game speed. So, first stage of the asparagus is gone, and we're still pointing straight up. Maintaining around about 150, trying not to go nuts. Just rolling off the throttle a touch. Because obviously as we burn fuel, our weight drops. Now, we are going up to 20,000 before we do our turn, in which we turn over to 45 degrees. Why the extra height? Well, you can very easily find that you can fall right back to Kerbal, and there's not a darn thing you can do about it on heavy lift. So once we release that stage, we can go ahead and switch to sort of system view and watch our orbit progress. Still at 45 degrees, and of course once we clear about 50,000, just go ahead and give it full throttle. Simple reason being, there's no air resistance at that height. So now we fast forward a bit till we get to apogee rather, and then we're going to flatten ourselves off and circularize-ish our orbit. We are, of course, 20 kilometers short of our target height, orbit height. Simple reason being that we're then going to catch up with it. So a little bit there, so that the opposite side gives us our indications as to how far away we are on each orbit. So get a time warp till we're in a reasonable position, which is coming up. this point we're doing some little adjustments for our orbit. These little adjustments are basically to kill our target relative speed and then basically add speed on into the orbit so that we expand the orbit into the orbit of our target. So with the nav ball set to target, go ahead and kill our relative speeds, and then we switch to basically orbit on the nav ball and add about 50 meters per second orbit speed. I say about, it depends on your orbit. But basically it's just enough so that the other side of your orbit kicks back up again and meets your target orbit. So now of course we're looking at how far away we are. Rotating around a little bit. So as you can see, we're moving our relative velocities towards the target, which we've just done. Now we're checking to see how close we're going to get, and that's not looking bad. That's not looking bad. So, we found that we were closer at that point rather than where it indicated that we were closer. So we went right ahead and killed our relative speeds. Now, to make this thing a little bit more manoeuvrable, we transfer the fuel from the outsides to the centre tank, which means I can throw it around a bit more. And then we transfer a little bit back again so that we can actually use the engines. Like that. So, we're now going to thrust in a manner that, as you can see on the nav ball right now, our velocity marker, the green one, right, is drifting down the nav ball, right, relative to our target. So what we do is we fire the engines above the target, like that, to bring our vector back towards the target. And then we keep doing that from time to time. Now as you go around different sides of your orbit, right, that direction will change. So it's not always the same. So keep an eye on it. Here we go, we're under 1 kilometre, so we're going to kill our relative speeds. And then we're going to transfer what remains of the fuel into the centre tank and then just ditch the extra weight. So from this point on, we're on RCS. Like that. Unfortunately, I really need to put separatrons on that stage and that stage alone, because otherwise they end up fouling as you try and get out between them, just a bit like that. While it doesn't do any damage, it's just annoying. So, we're going to go in tail first. Right, we're using translation mode with the right hand, rotation with the left hand, because we're on two opposite sides of the keyboard. So, it's not helpful that my monitors just went to sleep on me while I'm trying to do the narration. So, if the green marker is to the left of your target marker, which is the purple one, then you translate to the right, and it will bring the target, the velocity marker towards the target marker. Now, as you can see, green marker below, so we're thrusting up. So, I'm going to move away from the docking port now that we've selected it. And what I'm going to show you is the camera pointing at the vessel so that we can't see the docking port. Just like that. So, we've changed our velocity so it's bang on using the translation RCS. Now we're going to thrust at it. Right. So when you're thrusting at it, and that green marker is to the right of your target, then you translate to the left. If it's to the left, you translate to the right. If it's above, you translate down, and if it's below, you translate up. So, quick shufty there. Yep, we're on target. And we creep in nice and slowly. Switch to fine controls and basically put that pink or purple dot, whatever you want to call it, as close to your center dot as possible. Right, so if the center dot's slightly to the left, your green marker goes further left than the little bit. That way you sort of skew sideways, and then you can bring it back to straight. So, just showing you the docking here. Can't see the port, so I can't do a visual alignment, but I've done this entire docking from the nav ball, and we have contact. A little bit of shimmying required to get the thing behaved and in alignment. Usually can be sorted by oh, excuse me, by pulsing the SES on and off. So now we go ahead and transfer fuel. Now I know what's going to happen after this very shortly, and it is really annoying. Look at the staging on the left. Yeah, looks fine, doesn't it? We have Saprotrons which deorbit this little pod. Okay, watch what happens. Point retrograde. We check, and we hit the stage, and guess what's going to happen? Yes, staging error. Insert colourful metaphors. Lots and lots and lots of colourful metaphors. Which means I now have a pod that I need to go and rescue. Hey. Really? Not funny. Anyway, I hope that has been helpful for people. Any questions, give me a holler. Take care, have fun, and remember, I'm CW, crash hard.